He's alive! He's alive! Elias Pettersson has gone out there, and I really do think it's finally time to say he's back. Pettersson, Hughes, the guys went out there without JT Miller and had themselves a showcase towards the end here that I think a lot of Canucks fans could look at and say, okay, it was fine. The Vancouver Canucks have just lost in their second half of the back-to-back 5-4 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And there were a bunch of narratives heading into this game that I think it would be foolish to ignore. Firstly, it is the fact that the Vancouver Canucks were playing the second half of the back-to-back. They played against Boston yesterday. They didn't particularly play too well against Boston yesterday, but they still got the 2-0 shutout from Kevin Lankinen. You can't apologize for having good goaltending, folks. Sometimes that's all you need, and that's what the Canucks got. But they didn't really play the best game yesterday against Boston. So heading into today, I think a lot of us were kind of internalizing the idea, hey, they could be tired. They did bring out some of their efforts in defending the crease yesterday. They didn't do it the best that they could have because Kevin Lankinen still had to make 30-something saves. But in a game like this, against the Pittsburgh Penguins, you have to acknowledge the Pens and their firepower. They have some incredible talent: Crosby, Macklin, Letang, Carlson, and everybody else in between. The Rusts, the Rakells. I'm just naming off the guys who ended up getting goals in this game. But the Penguins got off to a really good start. In fact, I don't know if I want to say it's like the Penguins got off to a great start or the Canucks got off to a terrible start, but hey, guess what? The Penguins were up 5-1 at one point in the second period in this game. Definitely not the way you would want to start things out here. But I will say, when it comes to the first period, because the first period the Penguins were up 4-1, it's really easy to say, hey, wait a minute, Arturs Silovs let in 4 goals on 10 shots. This guy sucks. He's not good. He's this, he's that, he's whatever. But ultimately, the Canucks were not playing well in front of him. All of these goals, shots in tight, shots right in front of the goalie. You can't stop those if you're Arturs Silovs. Sure, you would prefer to get a save in tight. 1 or 2 or 3 saves that are absolutely game-stealing saves could be the difference between you winning or losing a game. But if you have these moments, okay, like, what? The puck is right there in front of you, the guy's right there shooting it on you, and none of your defenders are boxing the guys out properly. They're leaving these spaces wide open for Penguins players to come right in. It is not good, and I don't agree with the idea that Arturs Silovs lost the Canucks this game here. Not at all. I think the Canucks, if they were playing with prime Carey Price in net, still, there would have been goals that would have gone in based off of the amount of space the Canucks were giving to the Penguins in front. Now, I will say the 5-1 goal to kick things off in the second period, that I would say maybe is a lot more on Silovs because it was just a clean wrister on the rush. 1-on-1, Bryan Rust versus the goalie, and he ends up going over the shoulder of Silovs. Again, though, you could debate, why does Bryan Rust have enough space to walk in like that anyway? Where is the defense boxing him out and making his life difficult? Wasn't really there, but I will say that goal, the 5th goal, was a lot easier to blame on Silovs, in my opinion at least, than any of the other ones. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, if they had Kevin Lankinen in net, they would have won. I mean, maybe he does make 1 or 2 saves. Maybe he does end up being the difference between 5-4 or 3-4, or maybe 2-4. But, like, the Canucks not wanting to overexert Lankinen, I get that. They had run Demko into the ground in prior years, and we have seen how badly that was for him. The Canucks do not want to do the same thing here with Lankinen, whom they did run into the ground a little bit to start out the year. You kind of have to go with Arturs Silovs, though, on the back-to-backs. So this is what the Canucks were greeted with. The first goal of the game, scored by Pittsburgh. It is Blake Lizotte right out in front. 4 minutes in on the backhand. It's a pretty rough goal, admittedly. It's the old Kevin Bieksa off the end of the boards trick that goes out to the opposite side for Maxime Lapierre as a long shot from Shea bounces off the end boards. It pops out to the back door where Quinn Hughes loses Blake Lizotte, where Brock Besser loses Blake Lizotte, where Hronek loses Blake Lizotte. Everybody loses the guy, and he has a wide open net to backhand it in. Tough break for Silovs, who couldn't stretch out to get the puck off of the end boards. Quickly after that, though, you had yourselves Vancouver tying things up 1-1. It was Raty with his second goal of the year, assisted by Max Sasson. Raty picks the puck up in the Penguin zone. He tries to take a shot. It's blocked right in front by Marcus Pettersson, and then he takes another shot immediately off the rebound, and it beats Tristan Jarry. What a nice goal there for young Raty, who's able to find himself a really great lane and just kind of keep going at it. He keeps on capitalizing on these opportunities that he gets. It's 1-1, but it doesn't stay 1-1 for long, and it doesn't really stay tied for long either, because the Canucks end up succumbing 3 goals within the next, 10 minutes of game time? Making it 2-1, it's Rickard Rakell. It was a wrist shot right out in front. Really nice play there for Bryan Rust, who circles the zone. He comes in and backdoor passes it to Rakell. Again, the Canucks D losing their check and not being able to cut off that long pass. Susie had a touch on it, I think, but it still went in. The Canucks then gave up a penalty later on. Penguins on the power play, you had Kevin Hayes right out in front. Evgeny Malkin on the side of the goal, not being challenged. He's just kind of hanging out there. He throws the puck to the front of the goal, and instead of Juleson or Susie boxing out Kevin Hayes or swatting the puck away, Hayes is right there on the doorstep to put the puck in. Again, another one of these plays where Arturs Silovs is hung out to dry, and the Penguins are right up in his grill to put the puck in the back of the net. Bryan Rust then made it 4-1 just a few minutes later as the Penguins got a 2-on-1 opportunity. It was Crosby and Rust against Hughes. Crosby goes cross crease. Rust ends up going around Arturs Silovs and putting it in. That is a multi-point first period for Erik Karlsson, Bryan Rust as well. And the morale for Vancouver fans is down. Arturs Silovs let in so many goals on so few shots. Everybody's kind of freaking out here. But I do think most Canucks fans were a bit rational in thinking about the game. As it was, second half of a back-to-back, the team's kind of hanging Silovs out to dry. The Rust goal to start things off and make it 5-1 in the second period wasn't great. But eventually, the Canucks start to slowly come back. Making it 5-2 was Pius Suter. A long centering pass by Elias Pettersson gets knocked down at the point by Filip Hronek and deflected over to Quinn Hughes. Hughes then throws it across to Pius Suter, who walks right in. He shoots, and it's a really nice slap shot towards the goal, and it beats Tristan Jarry. 5-2 game. And then, in the third period, I actually was starting to get a little bit hopeful because a lot of Penguins fans were freaking out about how their team always blows leads, how they always find ways to lose in the third period. I think they lead the league in multi-goal blown leads this season with 5 or something like that. But Quinn Hughes started things out 40 seconds into the third period with a beautiful goal. What a spectacular play by Quinn freaking Hughes, who comes right in all by himself and decides, hey, I'm just gonna score. How about that, eh? Quinn walks down through the neutral zone, enters the Penguin zone, cuts around Marcus Pettersson, then splits the D, comes right in, shoots, and it's a light one, but it goes in. What a beautiful goal scored by Captain Quinn. He's alive, folks. He is alive. And then, after a few more penalties the Canucks ended up taking, which I honestly do think costed them the game in this one, they would have had a much better chance to win if they hadn't taken those 2 irresponsible penalties. You could also say the refs were kind of bad for calling them. The Connor Garland hook didn't really feel right either, but towards the end, after killing off both of those penalties, the Canucks had themselves a 6-on-5 opportunity. Quinn Hughes locks and loads at the point, takes a shot, it deflects downwards, and Elias Pettersson is there to put the puck in the back of the net, making it 5-4. It is a multi-point game for Quinn Hughes. He has a goal and 2 assists, and Elias Pettersson has himself a goal and an assist as well for 2 points, so both of these guys absolutely taking things over. I get it, the Canucks lost, but come on. They're probably going to lose a game back-to-back on a second half with Arturs Silovs against Pittsburgh and Sidney Crosby anyway, right? Especially going down 5-1 at that point so early in the game, it definitely was an insurmountable hill to climb. They were close, but ultimately their effort is not enough at the end. They lose, but they still have some good points. Pettersson and Hughes, I think you can't be too upset about them and their performance because they looked really good in this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as the Canucks lose to the Penguins. I hope you enjoyed this video. 9 and bye.